that if things kind of fell in place for me in the past, they'll fall in place for me in the future. That could be a really helpful tool as you look at your own life, gather up those little points of light, those positive things that happened. It could have been a doctor, a thought you had come to mind, an intuition, an idea. It could be a call from a friend or a family member during a dark moment you didn't expect. It can be so many things. I nerd out over stuff, and so I actually made a plot years ago after Mitch passed to just say, what are all the little points of light in my life? And it hangs in my wall, in my house, as a reminder for the things that have happened. The trouble with this exercise is I've learned the more you look, the more you see. The more you start looking for these points of light, the easier you'll be able to recognize other ones. Now I've got one that's about 10 feet long in my basement hallway. Don't have a frame for it yet because it's still changing, and it probably always will. It's been a source of peace for my son, Ethan. You know, he's, 19 years old now, and he comes and he'll ask me questions. Dad, what's this? What happened there? We both reminded the good things that happened even in the darkest times. And so, again, it's a lengthy one, and the colors are representative of hard things and hopeful things and intuition and all kinds of things. So, one thing I wrote in one of my other blogs is that Mitch gathered gratitude like a wise traveler would store up oil for their lamps, in preparation for those long, dark times when only the light we might ever see comes from the light within. Gratitude is not only strengthens the heart and soul, it also serves as a light to shine, not on what was lost, but what remains. Hope. I've seen a meme to this effect that says, hold on, pain ends. I'm not so sure pain ends. I think sometimes it can. So I think we can also say pain eases. I'll always miss my son, but it has eased over time because I've learned to carry it differently. Hope is really, in my feeling, that feeling of trust. That's the most hopeful definition. This phrase I found has been super powerful, but if not, okay? It's an old ancient writ, but here's how it can play in context. I hope for blank, but if not, I'll find meaning and purpose. And that's one of the most empowering mental models you can follow going through trouble and struggle. So in summary, the deeper meaning of hope is learn to trust the big picture, whatever that is. Place hope in the moment. Enjoy, you can't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to happen soon enough, but right now you have, and take advantage of that. Confronting the big question, I recommend seeking after meaning and purpose. It's a beautiful, powerful way to make sense of suffering. The key to happiness is relationships, relationships, relationships. Am I being too subtle? And lastly, the healing power of gratitude. That when we recognize those little points of light, those little things in our life that have benefited us, and we start connecting the dots, tomorrow seems a little less scary. Even though it can be terrifying, it can be a little less scary when we look at the things that have happened behind us. Now in conclusion, I want to share just a quick video, which is a meditation on the journey, and then I'll close out with a few short thoughts.
There's not a computer in the world today that can do all that the human body does every second of every day. Our bodies are the subject of fascination and wonder, and while we're learning a great many things in medicine, our marvel over the human body remains. It is the most remarkable creation in all the universe. Billions of cells working together as if choreographed and timed perfectly to a most beautiful symphony. The human muscle, an intricate system designed to put us in motion and essential to life. Yet for those with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, whose genetic code is broken, they are unable to produce dystrophin, a vital protein required for muscles to repair themselves. As a result, muscles waste away, eventually affecting breathing and the human heart. Although DMD destroys muscles, it destroys so much more than that. When Mitch was diagnosed at the age of 3, hospitals went from inconvenient to terrifying. I'll never forget the look on my wife's face the moment my son was diagnosed. little Mitch unaware his life would be cut short. We did our best to help Mitch go to school and provide him as normal a life as possible. As the years progressed, there were tests and more tests to see how quickly his muscles were being wasted away. Simple things like getting off the floor would soon become impossible for him. We kept our chin up and drank life in moment by moment. Sometimes that's all we have. To Mitch, his cup was always overflowing, and he never wasted a moment. Natalie and I knew there would come a time that things would not get better. In fact, each day they would begin to get worse and worse, for that is the course of DMD and muscle wasting. Muscle wasting until there's nothing left but scar tissue. I remember going on a business trip the spring before Mitch passed away. I visited Niagara Falls and Mitch asked me to film it for him. This is what I captured. As I stood by the rushing waters, I was in awe of the powerful forces of nature, and suddenly I think I began to get a glimpse of what Mitch often saw. He loved the water, I think partly because it made him feel weightless, and for a moment it made him feel normal again. I never went on a business trip that I wasn't anxious to go home. I always felt like I was on borrowed time and couldn't wait to get back to my children. A few months later, at a family gathering, Mitch would say how grateful he was to be alive. I'm grateful for life. Those were his words on multiple occasions. And life is what we did our best to live, to be in the moment with our children, for that is the greatest gift we can give them. For a season, Mitch lived in the middle of two worlds. He couldn't help but notice where he was heading. Were DMD to take its full course, he wouldn't have the strength to lift a spoon. He wanted to run and jump like other children, but his strength slipped through his fingers. He was a baby made of sand. It's something of a terrible irony that Mitchell's heart failed, for his true heart was both sweet and strong, and he wanted so much to live. We did everything we could to help him. I don't look on my days with Mitch with feelings of self-pity or wallowing in sorrow. Instead, I feel a great sobriety about life and love and what we do with the time we have. This little boy lost his life to a terrible disease, and in his loss, I have found new life, to fight for other boys and to make the most of what time I have. For one day, my time will come, and I hope I will have made the most of it. Billions of cells working together as if choreographed to a most beautiful symphony of love and laughter. Perhaps the greater symphony isn't found in our bodies, but how we work together as a human family. That is what my son taught me, who has now gone to that place beyond the hills. He is a great way off, and I search for him. And when I listen carefully, I can hear that greater symphony, a melody most beautiful, that of the human family and what we can do together.
So that really represents the sentiments, the feelings of my heart as a father. And when I look at what's going on in the community with what medical professionals are doing to help stem the tide of muscle wasting and muscular diseases, neuromuscular disorders, it's wonderful to see that symphony of people working together, trying to come up with solutions, and for that I'm super grateful. When I contrast a photo that I took in 2012 of my family van, where it was in 2018, I wondered, is it going to get any better? And I am here to tell you that no matter what happens, whatever difficulties we face, it gets better. it gets better. Just a few months ago, I married my daughter off, and now I'm just worried about my youngest son who's got raggedy hair. But anyway, I just want you to know that there's so much hope. There's hope with what's going on in therapy trials, and more importantly, we can put trust in whatever our life purpose is. And I encourage you, as you go through your journeys, to look deeply at some of the struggles you're facing, what meaning and purpose you can pull out of that. We'll be posting several things in the next couple of months on my blog. There are tools to help people make sense of suffering. And we've been grateful, by the way, PT-SIT Therapeutics offered our foundation a grant to create hope kits. And these are designed to help families to work through their struggles and find hope when they feel like they're grounded in moments of trouble. And anyway, thank you for your time.
So it's time for lunch, so we're going to go to lunch, and just thank you to Chris and Bob and the rest of the team here who helps make this meeting possible. Chris talked a little bit about relationships. One of the reasons we want to bring you here is to help you to know each other. So enjoy the opportunity at lunch. We have afternoon sessions that are hopefully done, just put you in the same room with people like you. And sometimes we silo ourselves into DMD or FSHD or DM1 or whatever our disorder is, but we want you to know each other. Your journeys are the same, and our journeys are the same with you. And so we want you to, and just thank you for coming and enjoy lunch. We're in the cafeteria, is that right? Which is just outside beyond the front door. So we'll follow the rest of the people. One of those changes to the schedule. For the afternoon, the Twin Peaks conference room on your schedule is going to be the Lone Peak conference room, which is right behind you, and the door to it is under the stairs. Out of the main lobby. So if it says Twin Peaks, change it out, write Lone Peak. Just one little interesting thing about this building, every one of the conference rooms is named after a peak. So this is I can't remember which one we're in.
We're in
Kings Peak.
We're in Kings Peak, and there's a picture in every room of a peak, but it's never the peak that the room's named after. So that's not Tucanogas there at Lone Peak. We're in Kings Peak room. That's the Lone Peak, so we can move that one. But just a curious thing, if you're going to the peaks, just sort of moving down. So thank you guys.